Hey y'all, how about today I show you how I make one of my very favorite dishes because I'm a carb girl. I love some pasta, and this is a creamy mushroom pasta that is phenomenal. Let's begin. Why I show that? So what we're going to start with is a half a cup. To begin with, making this mushroom dish, it's a creamy mushroom pasta dish. It's not really like a stroganoff, it's just delicious. You're going to have some of your favorite pasta going, cooking, because you'll need that at the end. So you're going to start with some sliced mushrooms, whatever kind of mushrooms you like. We like the portobello, so that's what we're going to use. Again, we don't cook with any oils or anything, but so this time instead of using vegetable broth, we're actually using tamari. 2 tablespoons of that, which is kind of like soy sauce, but it's different than like your regular soy sauce. I don't know why, it just is. So you're going to saute this over like medium-high heat just to let those mushrooms release their natural water. So it only takes like 5 minutes. So see y'all in 5. Okay, so after 5 minutes, this is kind of what you have. You're just going to dump it and the liquid and everything out to a separate bowl. Then, to the same pan, kind of a one-pot thing, except for the pasta has to be cooked separately. You're going to add 1 finely diced onion. It already smells good in here, but the onions make it smell better. Oh, I need garlic. I forgot diced garlic. So your mushrooms start to stick. You can add a splash of vegetable broth or water to it, which I think I'm going to. And you're just going to cook these about 5 minutes until they get, you know, translucent, sauteed onions. Y'all know how to cook onions. You're going to add fresh garlic to it, but you know, garlic cooks faster than onions and it'll burn. So you're going to let the onions get happy first and then add the garlic to it. And actually, I think my pasta's done. So I'm going to drain that and see y'all in a few minutes. Now, I always season everything as I go. So to this, I am going to add a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper. Something I've always done. It's I think things taste better when you layer the flavors instead of just adding all the seasonings, you know, like at one time. Now to this, you're gonna add some minced garlic. It's about, I don't know, clove and a half or 2. It's gonna cook it a little bit. Remember, garlic burns pretty fast, so you don't want to cook it too long. Then, after this is kind of weird. We're going to make a roux. A roux is like a, you know, back before you made gravy, how you would use flour, butter to make a roux. Only this time we're not using butter, of course. So we're just going to sprinkle 2 tablespoons of flour over our onions and garlic. We're going to saute it for a few minutes to kind of cook out that flour flavor. And you can use whatever kind of flour you like. That was white whole wheat that I used. Any kind of thickener you want, I guess you could use. Because we're not going after flavor, we're going after the thickening power. represents. And then it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look like flour covered lumps. That's okay. So after it's kind of cooked a few minutes, we're gonna add the rest of our seasonings. Again, this is some more salt and pepper. This is garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, and rosemary. Feel free to switch that up a little bit with other herbs you may like with mushrooms. Oh, it smells so good. And stir all that up, and I don't know if you can get a shot of that. It kind of looks weird. And then I'm gonna stir it constantly. Don't let it sit because that flour and stuff will start to burn. And now we're going to add an ingredient that may shock some of y'all, but it really, really adds to it. You can omit it. Replace it with water, I guess, but I wouldn't do that. Is a half a cup of white wine. All the alcohol cooks out, so you don't have to worry about, the alcohol in it when you feed it to your kids, but it just really, then you're left with like the flavors of the wine. It's a Sauvignon Blanc that I use, and so it's just delicious. Saute it a few more minutes. Can you smell that, Steve? It smells so good. This is one of the very first recipes I made back when we started this journey. And here we are. And it's going to get thick, and it's going to look like a gooey lump. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, I've messed this up. You have not. It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of like it was already eaten. It smells delicious, and it's going to taste delicious too in a little bit. So then we're going to add the rest of this stuff. And this is one of my favorite parts of this recipe is because it does have cashews in it. You don't have to pre-boil your cashews. You can just use them raw, and so it saves a step and it makes life a lot easier. So after it's kind of thick, kind of a glob, you see that? It's kind of like a thick glob. I don't know what other word to use. You're gonna add the rest of our ingredients. So this is 1 cup of unflavored, unsweetened plant milk. A half a cup of water. A half a cup of vegetable broth. A whole tablespoon of miso. And a third of a cup of raw cashews. And now we're just gonna mix it, and it's going to simmer for 10 minutes, okay? So see how it looks? It's already starting to look like a good creamy kind of gravy, right? Just gonna let it get happy for 10 minutes, and we'll see y'all soon. Okay, so after 10 minutes, you have this beautiful creamy sauce. It still has the chunky cashews in it. That's okay, we're gonna blend it. But you're going to remove it from the heat just for a few minutes to cool a little bit because it has been simmering and boiling pretty hard for 10 minutes, okay? So just a few minutes over here, and then we're going to put it in our blenders to see y'all in a few. Okay, so after just a few minutes, you're just going to pour it into a blender. I don't know how graceful I tend to be at this. So because the cashews cooked in your cooking liquid, they're actually going to take on some more flavor, I think, anyways. You can probably do this with all kinds of cashew type dishes. Just cook the cashews in with the sauce. So you're just going to blend it for a few minutes just to get it really creamy. So obviously I put this over the top because the steam has to release. So you're going to blend it for a minute, and it gets really creamy. And then you're gonna put it back in your cooking pot. So see how smooth that is? Let me get a spatula. Scrape down the sides, get all that goodness. you're gonna take not all of the mushrooms, like, I don't know, about a third of them and some of the liquid. Put it back into the pot because you wanna serve some on top too, like for garnishment. So just some of the mushrooms. I'm gonna go ahead and use all the liquid. Put it in the pot. You're gonna cook it for like a minute or two, just to kind of, those mushrooms cooked into your sauce. Taste it, add some more salt, pepper. If you like a little spicier, some red pepper might be good in this. It'd be delicious. Actually, I'm gonna taste it. Taste, 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 taste. Right, y'all? It's so good. So good. You see how thick and creamy and yummy that is? After everything kind of gets warmed back up, because it did kind of cool off as we blended it. The mushrooms especially got cooled off. Things warm back up. You're gonna add your pasta that you cooked. I actually cooked this quite a bit before we were done. You're just gonna dump it in your pot. Ooh, that's hot. Stir it up gently, particularly the brown rice pasta. I found it's after it's cooked, particularly, it kind of is a more delicate style of pasta. Let's bring it up to temperature because I got kind of cool. That is it, y'all. There you have it, your creamy mushroom pasta. Totally add some red pepper to it if you like it a little spicier. If you like a little more herbs, you can add some more herbs to it. But I think it's yummy just like this. So be sure to like and subscribe and share and try the recipes, y'all. Be blessed. Bye.